Will the newly assembled Thor Corps be strong enough to turn back the advances of Toranos, the Utgardian god of thunder, or is it all too late? Well, let's hop into the pages of Immortal Thor issue number 5 and find out what happens next together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as this new issue begins, we're actually taken far from the events of King Thor and Toranos all the way back to one of the earliest points in history. It's here we're introduced to a brand new character called the Demiurge, an all-powerful being who gave birth to the old god pantheons, as well as magic and the concept of the wheel that Toranos keeps going on about. The Demiurge was something of a cold and uncaring parent figure who watched on as his new god children made war with and inevitably killed one another. This went on for a very long period of time until eventually Gaia, aka Mother Earth, aka the biological mother of Thor, broke this chain of events and in doing so broke the wheel for the first time. But more on Gaia in a minute. It's after that we transition back over to the modern day where King Thor and his newly assembled Thor Corps are doing battle against Toranos in a last-ditch effort to try and stop him from destroying Earth. Now in the last issue you'll remember Loki, Beta Ray Bill, Jane Foster, and even Loki themselves had all been gifted the power of Thor. Only as we discover from Storm, these new Asgardian power upgrades actually come with a major drawback, and that is you only have the power of Thor for about 60 seconds after throwing the hammer to someone else, meaning that this team needs to basically play hot potato with these magic hammers while also trying to stop the frickin' apocalypse from happening. In the beginning, they actually do pretty good managing to skirt around the giant Toranos. However, it's Loki who ends up getting a little bit too headstrong, saying how they love the simplicity of throwing hammers as opposed to telling stories or making mischief. Loki basically just hucks the hammer at Toranos, and in a move that shocks absolutely everybody, no pun intended, the giant manages to grab the hammer and claim the power of Thor for himself, combining both the powers of old and new gods of thunder all in one. Surely Toranos would be unstoppable right now, right? But get this was always King Thor's plan. Thor wanted Toranos to have a taste of his power, and in doing so end up getting a taste of his responsibility, saying that at the end of the day, Thor's greatest power is worthiness. It's a humility that took King Thor a lifetime to learn, but he finally came to the realization not too long ago that whenever people prayed to Thor, it was never to bring on a storm, it was to protect them from a storm. Meaning that Toranos got the power, but he also had to have his heart forcibly open to the responsibility too, meaning that as much as he might want to, he is unable to destroy Earth now. And the old Utgardian god is pretty goddamn pissed. As he puts it, he was only doing what he was told by his brother, the maker of magic, Utgardian Loki, and also, get this, Gaia. Naturally, Thor is horrified at the idea that his biological mother might be involved in everything that's going on right now, but unfortunately Toranos disappears before he can ask any follow-up questions. The day is saved, and that's good, but it's made abundantly clear that things are gonna get a lot darker before the dawn. Storm has to leave as she's still fighting a mutant war over in her own book. King Thor actually makes a very heartfelt and very long overdue apology to Beta Ray Bill, who promises that in the next fight he'll bring his Twilight Blade again. Hey, A+ for continuity. And then of course there's Jane Foster the Valkyrie, who has actually come to Thor today with a warning. No, not the regular warnings of death that Valkyries bring, though death is certainly hanging over Thor's head right now. No, Valkyrie warns about a face from Thor's past who has managed to slip the bonds of death. Of course she's talking about Scourge the Executioner, who, as we soon discover, has actually gotten into bed with Roxxon CEO Dario Agger the Minotaur, who, as we found out in the last issue, actually bought the in-universe rights to Marvel Comics. Meaning that yes, he now officially has 100% control over every Thor story ever told, and hey, legends are power, don't you know? This evil duo quickly becomes an evil trio too when we realize that Scourge the Executioner has also brought along his longtime master, the Enchantress, who is more than happy to start making Thor's life hell all over again. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Immortal Thor issue number 5. And I gotta say, this series kind of started off with a real slow burn, but now 5 issues in, I can officially say Al Ewing is really cooking now in this one. Art's great, action's great, the attention to detail is great, the further exploring of the Marvel god pantheon in a way we've never seen seen before, is really cool and has a lot of potential. Again, in Immortal Hulk, we found out that the one below all and the one above all were basically one and the same, and I have to wonder where the Demiurge is going to fit into all of this. The Jason Aaron Avengers run made a big deal about reestablishing Gaia as the biological mother of Thor, but it felt like that story never really went anywhere in the main Thor title, but here Al Ewing seems to actually want to make it the backbone of a story, which, hey, more power to him. I also couldn't be more excited to see what Al Ewing does with the Minotaur basically owning Marvel Comics in story. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of really great metatextual storytelling, and probably some fourth wall breaking meditations on the industry as a whole. It's also just a great way to reinvent and reintroduce Dario Agger. I think he's probably one of the strongest new Marvel villains of the last couple decades, and it's nice to see him back and bedeviling Thor in a whole new way. Overall, I would give this issue a very well-deserved 8 out of 10. I can also say that, well, in the beginning of the year, this book probably wouldn't have made my top 10 best list. Now that we're getting closer to the end of 2023, I would say this one is definitely on the list. Hey there, everyone. It's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description? Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way, everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.